Mr. Jaco de Bruyn.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome to the Thought Lab podcast.
Thank you.
I'm so chuffed,
I heard
man.
a lot of things about you, so it's good to be here.
You heard them from a mutual friend called Alan White.
Yes.
He's from Light Sculpt. I'm sure they were all bad.
No, he said I'm going to enjoy it, and you're a lovely guy, and we're going to talk for hours.
This may be true, but so you said to me you've just come from the dentist, right?
Yes.
So I had I told you I coach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Last week Thursday night I'm busy training with one of my students, and by accident, by mistake, he kneed me in the face. Right?
Oh my goodness.
So the whole of the inside of my lip is cut open. And over the weekend, right, I've
It
just
was
had the
swollen up.
biggest swollen, but it was like seriously swollen. And I was speaking like this, right?
I can imagine.
And then we confirmed the podcast, and I was like, holy shit. Oh my God. So every day
Well, it looks better.
yeah, it looks better.
totally
Every day it's been getting progressively better. But all I pictured myself in is, hi guys, this is Jaco de Bruyn. And then you said to me, you've just come from the dentist. Then can you imagine?
So it was just a consultation, so luckily no injections, which I hate. But yeah, dentist is not my favorite place.
No, you and me both.
Yeah, so no, it was just pure consultation and just chatting about plans for the future. So thanks to Alan who arranged that for me. So it's good.
Yeah. Hey, like he calls us the East Rand Scraps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kempton Park.
You're from Kempton Park. A lot of good people come from Kempton Park.
I grew up there.
Yeah.
I actually grew up in Olifantsfontein. I
Okay.
don't know if you know where that is.
Yeah, I do.
Like it's a very small little town in the middle of, yes, would I say Irene and Kempton Park?
Yeah. Sort of.
Grew up there, was in primary school till standard 4. Then I left with big regret to go to law school, Doornkloof in Centurion.
Okay.
So all my friends were in Olifantsfontein, and that's the people I knew. And then I went to my last year of school. So you can just imagine going into school and not knowing anybody.
5, eh?
Standard 5,
Yeah.
the last year of school. Didn't know anybody, so it wasn't easy for me. And then when my mom asked me the question, do you want to go to high school Centurion, or do you want to go to high school Kempton Park?
Yeah.
And I had this bad taste in my mouth with all the Pretoria people that I was in law school Doornkloof. So I said, no, I'm not going to Centurion. I'm going to go to Kempton Park.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm still there.
Yeah. You know, the Oaks on this podcast, and I mean, like when I first spoke to you about getting you on the podcast, and I mean, same with Mark Stent and hopefully Timo ODV, who's also from Kempton Park, right?
Yeah.
Is also coming on the podcast. Like, I don't intentionally go to get East Rand guys, but I just seem to be getting all these East Rand guys.
Must be breeding good people.
Yeah, hey, good people in the East Rand. Real people in the East Rand.
People,
Yeah.
And I like it, you know, it's so central for me. Like, I think people that never lived in the East Rand don't really understand that it's far to drive to the north or to the south.
Yeah.
But for me, it's so convenient because it's so literally 30 kilometers if you want to go
But
anywhere.
it's everywhere. Yeah, you're very, very, very central.
So
very central.
My parents obviously moved from Olifantsfontein to Centurion.
Yeah.
So they live on that side now. And then me and my wife in Kempton Park.
Okay. Yeah. Family man. Yeah, you got
beautiful wife.
You got kids.
2 boys.
Yeah.
Been together 18 years.
Yes, you must have been very good because you know they say the sin's for the father and you get a girl.
listen,
So you must have been bloody good that you got 2 boys, eh?
And also very good that I got married so early and young. I mean, if I think it's a blessing in disguise if I did what I did today and not being married man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like, it's what you're blessed to have.
You're this quintessential. So obviously, I mean, look, when I first started the podcast, like I used to go into a lot of research about my guys and because I really wanted to know and I didn't want to miss anything. And sort of as the podcast, I mean, I think you're podcast 20 now, right?
Yeah.
So as the podcast, oh God, I hope I'm right. Anyway, as the podcasts have been going and developing, you know, I've researched less and less and less. And it's not a disrespect to the guys. It's almost because I want it to be more real.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to know everything before I sit here and speak to you because, so obviously, I mean, I have certain topics, but I do go on and I look at the social media and I check out the guys. And I mean, there's this beautiful photo of you on Facebook with all your family and this quintessentially perfect, you know, beautiful family.
Thank you.
And you're standing there. I mean, you're going to win. You're definitely going to win the weight competition between the two of us. I'm going to win the tequila competition between the two of us. Oh, really? Look, I know you're training for Worlds, so how about we do this? But after Worlds, challenge accepted, right?
Deal. I'm up for a drink always.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Nee, jy gaan ons nou gaan jy leer.
Yeah.
I saw a post that you recently put up on Facebook, and it's something I really want to discuss with. No, it was on Instagram, and it's something I want to discuss with you. It's a before and an after
Okay.
And it's you standing in a white. I think
White underwear.
No. So
Jeans?
it's a before and after, and
Okay.
you posted a long discussion about how you know how hard it was for you and how you changed and how
Yes.
you know and very inspirational, very motivating. And I looked at it and I was absolutely blown away because, you know, if you look at where you came from where most people are.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then it's just a choice. And what spurned all of this? How did it get started? How old are you in that Instagram photo?
I think I was 24
Oh, really?
in the before picture.
Yeah.
34 now. You know, I was always a skinny guy. I remember, you know, even skinnier than the picture that you see there. So, in the back of my mind, in school, high school, you know, I was a long distance runner. That's all I was allowed to do. My dad said, "You're gonna run. You're not going to play rugby," because my dad was a runner. So that's all I did. I was running every single day of my life. When my dad got home, I must be ready because we're going to run. And we run 5 to 10 Ks every single day.
Really, eh?
My dad has done the Comrades, I think, 14 times.
What?
So that's all he knew. So I think that's where the determination and discipline came from
the grit.
when it comes to the sport. But always skinny. And I remember not even wanting to take off my shirt in school. I'm also not a very hairy guy, so that also bothered me a lot because I don't have beard, and here's all my friends around me that've got beard. You know, it's stuff that always played in the back of my head. Why?
Yeah.
And so I think I was very uncomfortable with who I was as a kid. I don't know why, but I also remember, you know, going to the stores with my parents at a young age and just always walking like to CNA or Pick n Pay. I will always walk to the aisles where the magazines are and go to the bodybuilding and fitness magazines.
Okay.
Picturing myself on these magazines, and obviously very far-fetched.
Yeah,
very
of course.
far-fetched, like,
and this was at what age, eh?
still in high school.
Really, eh?
Yeah, like I'll tell you a story now when I started training, but so it's something that intrigued me a lot, like how building muscle and wanting to look like that. Anyway, matriculated, wasn't very popular in school, did really well in running, like unbeatable my entire high school career.
Yeah.
Then I went to essays in matric, on nationals, and then I went overseas and I did the 1,500 meters was my best in track and field. But that's where it ended. Finished school, and my parents said, "Okay, you're going to study now." I'm like, "Nah, I don't. I just don't want to be surrounded by, you know, school and studying and people. Like, I need to find myself."
Okay.
So I went for a gap year in the UK.
Okay.
Just random jobs. I worked just in Cumbria. It's just underneath Scotland.
Okay.
In a 4-star hotel called Lowe's Hotel, and loved it. Like away from home, can do what I want. There's no responsibilities. You know, you're young.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to find yourself.
Yeah. But I was there for about 3 months. Then my wife, this girl came working at the hotel with her boyfriend, and
from South Africa.
From South Africa.
Okay.
Yes.
Een Afrikaanse meisie.
Afrikaanse potjmeisie.
A potjmeisie, daar gaan hy.
So she started working in the same hotel as me, and she started working in the restaurant. There was about 4 restaurants in the hotel. She worked in one of the restaurants, and her boyfriend worked in the conference center.
Okay.
Got along extremely well. Me and him became best friends. You said you want to hear everything.
I want to hear everything, buddy.
But
I'll tell you my story later.
So you know, I think there was mutual beneficial feelings between the two of us, and I obviously pushed it away because he was a very good friend of mine.
Sure.
I just pretended that I'm not feeling anything, like it's not happening.
Yes.
And then it was their anniversary, and then she was like very weird with him, and they wanted to go celebrate, and she wasn't like keen. And anyway, long story short, that day she knocked on my door after we all went out, and she said now she wants to talk to me, that she's got feelings for me. And I'm going very far off track here, but
go, you be you, dude.
So,
the only track is the track you want to go on, right?
But yeah, so I said to her that he's a good friend of mine, and maybe I'm going to Amsterdam for a few days. I'm gonna go for a holiday, just break away about 7 days. Think about it, and then when I come back, we can talk about it. But anyway, so the next day was still a work day. I went into the hotel and everybody was just, did you hear? I'm like, what the hell? Oh, here we go. And she left him, she packed her bags, and she moved into another room.
Oh, shit.
On the same day that she said, okay, now she'll
well, at least she doesn't have commitment issues. You know what I mean?
But yeah, long story short, today we married 18 years later.
And you were like 18 years old, 19 years old.
When I met her, yes.
Yeah, that's ridiculous,
so,
man.
Definitely meant to be. Haven't seen him ever again. But yeah, I came back to South Africa. I call it skinny fat. I was a skinny guy with a boop.
Yeah, it's called scat. Skinny fat, scat. I'm scat.
So I had a boop, drinking a lot of brandy and coke, and traveling the world. And just came back and I was like, no, yes, this is terrible. I need to. Anyway, I ended up 4 years in the UK.
Oh, really? Is that how long you eventually stayed there?
I stayed there, yeah. So she had to come home. So we did the long distance thing. Didn't work out. Eventually I decided, okay, I'm coming back. And then we start seeing each other again. But yeah, that was at the age of 23 when I came back. We were together then about 5 years, then I got married. So I was very young when I got married. I got married just turning 24.
Okay.
And she's almost 2 years. She'll hate me if I say this, but she's actually a year older than me. But when it comes to months, it's almost 2 years.
My buddy. I knew there's a reason I was going to like you.
But at the age of 24, that was, to come back to your question, was the first time in my life that I stepped back. The first time in my life that I stepped into a gym.
Okay.
Never trained, ever.
Yeah.
And just started training, I had this massive mind shift when at that age, when I got back from the UK. I think the UK helped me a lot, just growing up faster, know how to work with money, how to survive, know that you've got to have responsibilities in your life to go forward. And I think that's why I made the decision early in my life that I knew this is the woman that I want to get married to. There's no doubt in my mind, and getting married doesn't mean that things are going to get easier.
No,
that's when the work starts. And I was ready for it, seriously. And more than anything else in my life, that was the first thing that I wanted to do. But I wanted to challenge myself, set goals for myself. Okay, I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to do this modeling thing. I'm going to, I've got all these visions in my head that I'm going to do stuff that feels so far-fetched and just do it.
Yeah.
So, started with the modeling career. Very random, just did a photo shoot, just first time in front of a camera.
Camera shy.
Yeah, camera shy.
Big time, man.
Then
I just don't understand this, eh?
Yeah, no, it's intimidating.
Yeah, big time.
And till today, it intimidates me, but now I've learned how to handle it.
Now you're a professional.
It's easier for me. But so Facebook came out, I think. How old am I?
Yeah, even me, I don't know.
I think that year, that's when I joined Facebook.
Really, the first year, hey?
Yeah, I think so. And that's when I uploaded photos. Photos are still on there. It's funny. And this lady messaged me on Facebook, said, listen, don't you want to do Mr. Pretoria? And I'm like, geez, I don't know. I've never done, that's... Now in the back of my head, I've made these promises to myself that I want to challenge myself.
But now...
And now this lady messaged me, she wants me to do Mr. Pretoria. And I'm like, okay, let me do a bit of research and whatnot. So I decided, okay, you know what? It's just a modeling competition. You become an ambassador for Pretoria. So if there's events, you just need to be there and be presentable and whatnot. So I said, okay, I'm going to take this challenge and I'm going to start training and just try and get in shape and do the diet thing and whatnot.
Yeah.
So lot of work had to go into it. Like you have to go for interviews. You know, they wanted to know who you are. They
just go to the water.
So entered the competition, met all the contestants. I think that year there was about 30 contestants, and all of these guys are now competitive. They want to, good-looking guys, all well-built. Well-built meaning model, like Men's Health kind of.
So got you, not bodybuilders.
Not bodybuilders, yeah.
Yeah, got you.
So did the interviews. The show happened. I think it's about 3 months after entry. Then all the events that you had to participate in, interviews and whatnot, meeting the people, do a bit of charity work, and I won that year. Now I'm talking about 2000, Mr. Pretoria 2008. Now I'm already married 3 years. So in this 3 years, I did training and just
okay. And I was going to ask you, how long have you been preparing? Because this isn't a 6-month preparation.
No. This is about 2 years, 2.5 years after I got married. Started training.
And you'd been training for 3 years, which is a good period.
Yes.
Yeah. You can make something happen in 3 years.
Yeah. But not as like I'm training now. Like just half-hearted.
Okay.
But I went to the gym and So I won Mr. Pretoria 2008, and the next phone call that I got after that, which was huge for me, was Mr. South Africa.
Okay.
They phoned me to want to know, because I won Mr. Pretoria district now. Obviously, there's competitors in all other provinces around South Africa. I'm automatically entered into.
Oh yes, okay, that makes perfect sense.
To Mr. South Africa.
Yeah.
Still, whether or not I want to or not, because there will be other contestants from Pretoria as well that will enter Mr. South Africa. So I remember I had this conversation with my dad, and I'm like, Dad, I went to do a bit of research. Now I'm, how old were 27?
Yeah, 27.
27. And I said, all the winners in the last 5 years are all 30 up to 35, even late 30s.
Oh, really, eh?
And I'm like, I'm 27, I'm not going to be able to, even these guys got so much more experience,
sure.
They grown-ups and whatnot. And my dad said, you know what, age is just a number. And then I got this picture in my head again, all these promises I made to myself. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my whole heart into it. And I did. Raised so much money. I can't even remember, but it's close to 300,000 rand that year. Did a lot. I was very, very involved with charity as well. Over the years, I wanted to, work with more intellectual disabled people, because I don't get money from the government. Where if you work with orphans, all these, I've been there, I've done it. They don't appreciate it, because everybody gives them. They just get. Where the intellectual disabled people, it's hard to work with them, because it's not, these people are grown-ups, but they've got a mind of a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
And that was yet again a challenge for me, because I wanted a challenge. I wanted to help those type of people, which is extremely emotional
and difficult. Yeah, I can imagine.
Draining,
absolutely.
But it challenged me so much. So I've raised a lot of money for those people, and my English was obviously horrendous. I'm proper Afrikaans. And so there was about 50 people that entered Mr. South Africa 2009. Went down to 24, and then 12.
Okay.
And now the top 12 will then do the main show event.
That's right, yeah.
And that will be televised and on TV.
And
we did dances, and we did, there was a whole pageant thing. Very similar, obviously no more manly, but very similar to Miss Africa. It's a big deal.
Got you.
And so 12 on stage, big top arena, Carnival City, packed with people. I've never been in front of so many people in my life. Mr. Pretoria was nothing can compare to Mr. South Africa.
Yeah.
Now my parents' family, the whole Kutiti is there. And I'm doing Mr. South Africa. Anyway, so main event is about 2 hours. They cut the contestants down to the top 5. And I was one of them. Then the top 5 had to answer a question. I'll never forget the question until today, and it's many years ago. And they went to each guy, I think we had headphones on our ears so you can't hear the question, or
the question.
So
answer,
eventually they came to me, and I'll never forget the question. And the question went like this: so Jaco de Bruyn, if you had to win Mr. South Africa, how would you convince South Africa that you were the right choice? And now I'm translating the question for myself in Afrikaans.
I got you.
The nerves are fucking high. Like, seriously, it's high. Everybody is quiet. Nobody is still.
And there's a language barrier.
Yes, there's a massive language barrier.
Yeah.
And I just remember answering the question and just going completely AWOL. Like, talking. I don't even think I came close to answering the question whatsoever. And after, when I realized that I'm talking shit now, I was just like, and yeah.
And yeah, is that how you finished it? Yes, man. Yes, man. I love it.
So they announced the top 3. I was in it, and eventually crowned first runner-up.
Okay.
For Mr. South Africa 2009. Which was a massive, massive, massive disappointment for me. So This is the first, like, I've put my heart and soul into it, and today I'm happy it happened, because I'm going to tell you why. Everything that I've done up until then, I achieved, and I was like, I wouldn't say cocky, but I was like,
maybe a little bit arrogant.
And then Mr. South Africa came, and I didn't win. A lot of people expect me to win because of what I've done, and I might be wrong. Maybe I was delusional. I don't know, but I'm happy that I didn't win, and it was a bitter pill for me to swallow, because I couldn't make peace with it. And I'll never forget, this lady phoned me. Like, I was emotionally drained. It was for me, like, I couldn't understand. Oh, and then obviously the reason behind it is my poor English. That was one of what the judges said. This lady phoned me, and she said to me, and I promise you, still today I don't know who she is. I don't know where she are, what's her name, whatever. But she just wanted to give me a message and telling me that this is the beginning of a lot of great things for me. And I think she was there, but I promise you I don't know who she is.
Okay.
I just remember her phoning me, and she told me that don't look at this as failure, look at this as an eye-opener for many other avenues that you will go through in life.
Wow.
And I took it to heart. I went for English classes. Still not the best, but I do believe that I've improved a lot.
Clearly you've improved a lot.
So after Mr. South Africa, what happened? Then there was this. I don't know if you know them. Remember the magazine called The Heat magazine? It's a
absolutely.
It's a gossip magazine.
I remember
gossip
it well.
about celebrities and. So I was in there quite a few times, and the owner of The Heat magazine said, no, there's a new competition that's coming out called Heat Man Watch, and it's about good bodies. Okay. And it's the first year that they're running this competition in South Africa, and there was a lot of prize money, and you get a cover and whatnot. So I was like, okay. So if I had to win Mr. South Africa, I wasn't allowed to do anything for a year. Yeah. Because you're under
contract.
Yes, under contract.
Yeah.
So I did the Man Watch. Obviously trained extremely hard. My body started changing, and long story short, I won Man Watch 2009.
Okay.
Now, I got so much exposure from winning Man Watch, more than I would have ever got out of Mr. South Africa. Like,
really? You think so?
Because they're part of a media company, Media 24, so they've put me in all magazines. I went on every single talk show that you can imagine. So the exposure and was extremely good for me. Brilliant. So when you look at this is now going ahead again. When you look at my following now, I had all these things happening before I was even an international fitness model. And people don't understand that today. Like things like, just how did he get all these followings? But I had such a massive success in my modeling career, even before.
That's it.
Like Mr. Victoria, Mr. South Africa.
But Jaco, it's this old adage of it took you 10 years, right, to become an overnight success.
Yes.
Right? Nobody sees the fucking hard work you put in beforehand.
Yeah,
all of a sudden you just, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy.
He's buying his followers.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But anyway, so did Man Watch, got a part on 7 Alarm. I think it was about 3 months.
Okay.
Just this extra actor that came in and caused a bit of a hype between two relationships, but hated it. Like I didn't like TV. I didn't like TV.
Yeah.
I like it. I wanted to. I think now I will be better.
Yeah.
Because
In
I was
hindsight.
still so scared of talking.
I've got you.
Because of what happened with South Africa. Like it's stuck in my mind. Like now that they want to put me on 10 cameras and I need to talk and be a person that I'm not, an actor.
Yeah.
So that helped. That opened a lot of doors for me as well. But yeah, in the meantime, doing all the modeling, I went to study. I studied through NISA, LLB.
Okay.
Which I didn't finish because I hated it. There's a lot of things I hate.
Yeah.
But then I changed my subjects and I started my NQF level 3, 4 and 5 property specialist in business management.
Okay.
Went into property for 5 years. Made good money. But also my heart wasn't there. Like I wasn't happy. Like you know, the VAT, or what do you call it? Everything went up, then nobody buys property, and you were like, so you never knew whether or not you're going to survive or not.
I'm
basically.
with you. Yeah, I'm with you. I know the property
When
game.
When
you're making money, you make money.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you don't,
so I came to the decision, like after Man Watch, but that's what I studied while all of this stuff happened in my life. Then I got an invite to be on Survivor South Africa. A lot of Celebrity Survivor.
Yeah.
That was like, wow, I would love to do this.
Yeah,
like,
I would do that.
Yeah, this is going to be a challenge.
Lost a lot of weight.
But wait, so I had that phone call that week, and that same week they phoned me and they said to me, Jaco, they want me to go to Mr. World in South Korea because the current Mr. South Africa can't go.
And you were runner-up.
Runner-up.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. Like now this phone call that this lady made the day after just made sense to me. Like she was literally giving me a message.
Yeah.
And so I had to make a decision because it was completely two different worlds: TV and modeling, and being this ambassador for the country and now even the world. Who am I? Like,
what's your identity?
Yeah, what is my identity? Where am I going to fit in, and what do I enjoy most? And I've watched many Survivors, and I've seen how people are vindictive and lie and make alliances, and like, am I really that person? Am I gonna, people look at you and you are forced to make an alliance. You are forced to be nasty.
Yeah.
Because you want to win. It's a game. I understand that. But walking off.
There we go. That's
Survivor,
what I was just about to say.
They're gonna tag you for the rest of your life.
And there's a very big difference between the game and you in real life.
100%.
Yeah.
And
you're right.
I was scared of that. I was really scared of it because I know.
It makes perfect sense.
I know what bothered me my entire life being in school. Like I felt like I couldn't fit in. Like and now going on Survivor just brought back all that memories. Like, say for instance, I'm gonna be this bad person and people are gonna picture me like that. I don't want to be that person.
Or you're not gonna be the bad person and you're gonna completely suck at the game.
And be voted out first. So what is worst? But anyway, so I chose to go to Mr. World. A lot of hype and media went around that because I'm going to represent South Africa at Mr. World, South Korea 2010. What an amazing experience. Like for me, now my mindset is, I know who I am, I know what I want. Going there, I didn't even want to win. Like I just wanted to network. I just wanted to meet these individuals from all around the world. I think there was like 96 countries.
Wow.
So, from there onwards, I knew that I wanted to meet different cultures, different people.
Experience
that's what I love,
life.
networking. Yeah. And that's why I'm so good at what I do today, is because of networking.
Yeah, absolutely. People don't understand how important that is.
Yeah. So went to Mr. World, placed top 14.
Okay.
Or 14th rather. which was amazing for me. We traveled the whole of South Korea, saw beautiful places, a lot of like intense challenges. I just grew as a person there, and then obviously already working very hard on my social media and stuff. Not Instagram yet.
Yeah, not Instagram yet. Still just Facebook.
So got back, then I was like, okay, what's the next challenge for me? Like I don't really want to go on TV now. I'm doing all the TV talk shows and I enjoy that, but I need to now start thinking of what I really want. Then I remember that this is what I want to do. Like I really want to compete and build myself to one of these.
Yeah, and build your own personal professional brand.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I made the decision that I'm going to step out of property. I'm going to take the money that I've got and I'm going to open a supplement store. Start my own business.
Okay.
Open a supplement store at Brightwater Commons here in Randburg. And end up with 2 stores. Had an investor, a guy that knew who I was and what I've achieved, so it helped a lot. Excuse me. And that was I think, I wasn't badly built, but I was athletic. But really, this was the gateway for me to the fitness industry, the supplement store. So now I'm working in the store. It's my store, and
meeting all the right people,
in the right environment. Getting as much knowledge about diets and supplementation and training as I possibly can.
Sure.
I'm in the store, so I'm reading a lot. Following all these top athletes in the world, I'm like, yes, these guys are inspiring. Like, it's crazy. And I said, no, I'm going to do these. I have no idea how these competitions work. All I know is you need to be super ripped and you need to step on stage. That's all I knew.
And when you say competitions, you're referring to bodybuilding competitions. What competitions?
Yeah, so bodybuilding and fitness are, it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
However, bodybuilding is the hardcore poses where you stand on stage and, battle out amongst each other. Where fitness is more mainstream, but still do the same dieting. But you still get judged by your overall physique, but there's no really hardcore poses in bodybuilding, and there's more modeling aspect to it as well. But you are getting judged by how you look,
by your physique. But isn't it also just about like lifestyle and who you are? And
it's very close to bodybuilding though. Like there's some big guys in fitness.
Okay.
So you get your men's health type of look, then you get your fitness model, and then you get your muscle model. Now I'm a muscle model because I'm bigger than a fitness model and not as big as a bodybuilder.
Got you.
However, I'll probably be able to do bodybuilding now because of my years of training. But so started training extremely hard. That's all I did, like focusing on building my physique. And in 2011, I decided that, okay, I'm going to step on stage now. I did Body Beautiful.
Okay.
Body Beautiful South Africa. And I won. So now this is my first competition. Nobody have prepped me. I've prepped myself. And I won my very first show.
Nice.
And nobody knew who I was in the industry.
Okay, of course, because you'd come from a different industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were like, who the hell is this kid?
Yeah, first comp win.
Where did he come from? And I had a red short on, a spandex short, and this photos went viral all over the world. And all these bodybuilding and fitness websites just wanted to know who the hell is this guy, because it's a picture of my back.
Okay.
And nobody can see my face.
Oh, shit, okay.
Yeah. And I remember eventually people started finding out who this person is, and I got all these messages on Facebook because that's the only way that I could actually get hold of me.
Yeah.
And I was like very overwhelmed. I was like, wow, okay, no, I'm just going to do all these interviews and podcasts and whatnot with these people. And obviously that just gave me more and more international exposure. Now I'm driven, like now I want to do more shows.
Now we're going to train.
So then I decided I did fitness, Mr. and Mrs. Fitness South Africa in Cape Town the next year, and I came second. But still up there. Then 2012, I decided, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go more harder. I need to win another show. So I did Body Beautiful 2012 again.
Okay.
So this is the show that I've won now.
Yeah, the previous year.
So everybody knew now who I was, and they're like, Jaco is doing the show again. And then I won that year again. And I had green shorts on. And this photos went viral. And till today, that's probably my best conditioning to date. Like,
really, eh?
Yes. And now, 7 years later, everybody still refers, when I talk to wherever I go in the world, people will say that picture of me in the green. I will always refer to that specific picture that went viral. And I was obviously overwhelmed with all what was happening in the fitness industry, and now I feel like I've got a bit of a step. What is my mission going to be now?
What's your purpose?
What is my purpose?
Yeah.
And still fairly new in the industry. Have no money. Just a supplement store. I think I took home 10,000, 15,000 rand max. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna email one of the biggest fitness federations in the world. I'm gonna find out who the owner is.
Okay.
And I'm gonna bring it to South Africa. And I've got no money. Anyway,
nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
So here's this 28-year-old, like with the biggest dreams and ambition possible, speaking to a guy called Paul Dillett. Me not even knowing who Paul Dillett was then.
Maybe it was better.
Yeah,
right. Ignorance is bliss.
He stood on stage with Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day, Mr. Olympia. So he was a big shot, and he owned WBFF, which is the biggest fitness federation in the world. That's where you want to end up. And they mailed me back, and they're like, okay, let's have a Skype session. And I had a Skype session with Paul, and I'll never forget it, in the store. After hours, he lives in Canada, and he was like, this is what it's going to cost. I think it was 20 or 15,000 US dollars for the licensing fee.
Okay.
For the annual fee. And he's like, I'll never forget what he said to me. He said to me, you know how many people have approached me from South Africa and just never were able to pull it off or do it. So he's really feeling that he's wasting his time. And the first thing he asked me, do I have money? And I said no. And he laughed, I'll never forget. And then I said, but I'll make a plan, and let's see whether or not I could
pull it off.
Yeah. So I started building a hype on social media.
Okay.
Making my own artwork and everything on PowerPoint, whatever you call it.
Paint.
Bringing out my graphic design skills.
Yeah.
And started promoting WBFF is coming to South Africa. Now, in the meantime, before I go there, so obviously I've won all these shows, and Heat Magazine, which is a gossip magazine, obviously thought that this is now an opportunity to bring out some negative publicity for Jaco de Bruyn. Because here is this innocent, fresh-looking young guy, and here's this bodybuilder ripped freak. And on the front cover of the magazine said, "Oh my God, what happened to Jaco de Bruyn?"
Really?
So there was a 4-page spread of Jaco using...
Because they got nothing better to do.
Yeah, there's a 4-page spread of not saying it directly, but initiating
questioning that
you're
taking steroids. Yeah.
And what happened to this beautiful young kid? And obviously built a massive hype on Media 24, and my pictures is all over the news. Loved it though. Like, I knew who I was happy with who I am. Like, I enjoyed it.
It didn't bother you,
It didn't bother me.
Okay, good on you.
It actually helped me grow my profile, like,
even more.
Especially now in the fitness industry. Anyway, so I built this massive hype on social media that WBFF South Africa is coming.
So you don't even know if you're bringing it yet?
No.
But you're already building hype.
I'm building a hype, and I'm getting so many people So I built my own website.
Yeah.
Believe it or
Okay.
not, I can't even remember on what platform.
Okay.
It's like literally copied photos from Google, got the logo from them, and just made my own website. And putting my personal banking details on there to pay money into my account for the entry fee.
Not even your business account, your personal
My
account.
personal account.
My buddy.
And the entry fee was because I knew that Paul also wanted a licensing fee, annually licensing fee, and he wanted, I think back then it was $60 or $80 per athlete that enters the show.
Okay.
So I worked it out. Okay, so I worked it out as 900 rand needs to go to Paul, 600 rand. So I made the entry fee 1,500 rand, which is very, very high for a bodybuilding show to enter a bodybuilding show in South Africa. And now I've got the website. The website is live. I've got my own Facebook page. People have started liking the page, and everybody knows WBFF. They know it's a massive international federation.
Yeah. I'm not in that, and I know it.
So,
you know what I mean? Everybody knows WW.
So there was no real big federation for fitness athletes in South Africa up until then.
Okay.
So there was only bodybuilding shows, except for the shows that I've won. But that they are unaffiliated. So though Body Beautiful and Mr. and Mrs. South Africa, Fitness Africa is unaffiliated pageants, like you win and that's it. There's nothing comes after that.
Okay, so there's no like world ranking.
No. So with WBFF, if you win, you could win your pro status and you can go compete internationally and become the best in the world.
Yes.
So that was a drawing card. So I saw the gap in the market, and that's why I approached it.
Brilliant.
People start paying money into my account like left, right, and center. All these athletes just want to do fucking WBFF. Now I've built this massive hype. I remember back then it was Chris McWilliams, which is a very good friend of mine and business partner, and Andrew Carruthers, which owns all the bodybuilding and fitness magazines in South Africa.
Okay. Yeah, that name is very familiar for whatever reason. Yeah.
So he owns Muscle and Fitness, not Muscle and Fitness, Muscle Evolution, the bodybuilding magazine, and then he's in Hers Fitness.
Okay.
And he's got Shape, which is also his magazine, but massive market share in the industry because of who he is and what he does. He gives exposure to the fitness world in South Africa. And these people obviously took note of what the hell is happening on social media, and they're all super intrigued with listening at what's happening. So they all approached me, and I said, listen, this is what's happening. The show is going to happen. I'm going to make sure it happens, but I don't have money.
It's ballsy, bro. I like it.
And they obviously, we came to agreement and became business partners. And obviously, they invested money to make it happen.
Oh, brilliant.
So the first year flew Paul Dillett, the owner of WBFF. And we've got no expectation. All we know is that there's almost 260 athletes that entered.
Okay.
And it's a lot. Took me about 4 months to put everything together. Like I spoke to Paul every single day. I said, what do you want? What is your blueprint? Tell me and I'll make it happen. And that was 2013. WBFF South Africa.
God, I mean, that's not long ago.
It's not long ago.
No, that's...
So that WBFF South Africa first show ever. I will never forget that day when people start pitching on, because I signed a contract with CompuTicket, so people could buy tickets at CompuTicket.
Yeah. To watch.
To watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul Dillett is there, and the stage looks phenomenal. He was like blown away. He couldn't believe how beautiful it looks. And then people just start rolling in. I remember standing on the stage, up in front of the stage that day when the show started, and I was looking behind me, and there was over 3,200 people in the audience.
Jeez, like,
which is unheard of. You've never seen
for
a bodybuilding show.
For a bodybuilding show.
Or a fitness show.
A fitness show, excuse me. Yeah. Right terminologies, eh?
Yeah. And we had this open parade where the athletes would walk onto the stage. with a South African flag, waving the flag, like 260 athletes just circling. The stage is packed and everybody's just clapping hands, and it looked absolutely phenomenal. I was standing there and I was like, wow. And I cried. I remember that. I was crying like a baby. I was like, I can't believe I just pulled this off.
Yeah. It's fucking incredible, Jaco.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me, dude?
So, that was, I got a lot of credibility from that. And
I can imagine. And it was a great success, the show.
Massive success.
Yeah.
A lot of pros that year for WBFF, and now everybody just wanted to do WBFF. I got 2 letters from other federations that I'm not allowed to have this federation year, and fucking up the industry, according to them.
Yeah. Okay.
But a long story short, we hosted it for 4 years.
Yeah.
In that 4 years, I won the biggest WBFF amateur show in the world.
Okay. Yes, of course, because locally it's amateurs, and then you go to pro.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was literally the biggest amateur show in the world, and in that 4 years, I had people coming from all around the world to compete on a South African stage.
And then you competed yourself.
So
in all of them, or
no, I didn't compete here. So I decided that same year that I hosted WBFF South Africa, which was a huge success, obviously using this opportunity to now go and compete at WBFF Worlds. Because now Paul saw what I'd done, so for me it was business is business.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
And the first international show, I was, I know that I can prep and I can do this, and getting myself just from South Africa to Vegas was probably the biggest challenge for me. Just to your mind goes nuts because you're not eating enough, you're getting water retention, it's stressful. And I remember standing at the back of the stage at Worlds, and Paul gave me the opportunity to do the pro lineup as an amateur, and then if I would place in a higher rank, he will obviously give me my pro status. Now I'm standing there, and now I recognize these faces. I'm like, I follow these people on social media. I was like so overwhelmed. For me, it was, I remember standing in a row backstage, and they call the number, and this next guy goes up, next guy, and you get closer and closer to the stage, and like, fuck, it's almost my turn. And I'm standing there, and I see all these guys go on stage, and they do these poses, and it's like they're dancing on stage. So everything is just flowing, and it's aesthetic.
Yeah.
I'm standing backstage, I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? I've never done this in my life.
Oh shit, really? So that's obviously like a choreographed prep.
Yes, like you need to present yourself on stage. So it's not hardcore posing. You just go on and, go one side and show off your physique the best possible way.
Yes.
Now I'm looking at these guys, I'm like, wow, they're freaking good. How am I how are you going to
compete?
Yeah.
And I follow him on Facebook.
and like I was really overwhelmed. It was a big thing for me. And the nice thing, there was a lot of South Africans competing that year because they won their pro status in South Africa. So I wasn't alone. But I think that year I was the only South African in that lineup. But and eventually, I went on stage, and it's all these lights, and it's huge. It's spectacular. Like I can't explain how beautiful the stage is. And it's Vegas, dude. And it's Vegas.
Yeah.
But anyway, now I did a bit of posing, probably the worst I've ever done, but it was done. And there's I'll never forget, it was 28 guys, and I placed 3rd in the world.
Holy shit!
And then I won my pro status.
Through bad posing.
But for me, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, everything every single thing from Mr. Pretoria up until that day that I've said to myself, I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
and
I've
achieved.
You did
every single thing. And then I went to Worlds again the next year, and I placed 4th. Which was a big disappointment for me, but I've dealt with disappointments in my life, so I handled it pretty well.
Okay,
but
better this time.
I wasn't happy because another South African beat me.
Okay,
that came 3rd. But my career from then internationally just went through the wall. Like it went crazy. Like I couldn't manage myself. Got invited to all around the world. You know, people fly me over. Have to do seminars.
What seminars are you doing?
Just talking about obviously competing, my story, you know, dieting, competition prep. Just a lot of people want to know how you got to where you are.
How do you do it? Yeah, they want your blueprint now.
Yeah.
Hey?
So so that was the last time I competed, 2014.
Oh, really?
And the only reason for that was my career took off. I made a business decision. I said, I'm going to invest now in building my name.
Time. Yeah, got you.
Always, you know, I was invited to every single expo all around the world. I'm talking about Body Power UK, Body Power India, FIBO Germany, Arnold's Melbourne, Arnold's Australia, Arnold's Spain. All these every single year, and all in a different month. So every single month.
You somewhere?
For the last 3 years.
Really, bad?
I flew overseas.
Holy shit.
Just in last year, I've been to 32 countries. I've done over 50 international flights. So there was no way for me to compete.
I got you. How do you do that?
But always in shape.
Yeah.
Top shape. So that was my challenge. My challenge was, and that is what I'm probably known for the most, like knowing that Jaco de Bruyn is always in shape.
Yeah.
And people wanted to know, how the hell do I do that? Like there was never off season for me. And the only reason why it became so hard on myself being in shape is because I never wanted to disappoint the people.
I got you.
And I've met so many people that you look on Instagram, you meet them in real life, and they don't look like that.
Yeah.
And I did not want that. So every single time I flew overseas, I wanted people to say that he looks exactly like he does.
Jaco, I know a lot of guys, man. I see them on Facebook, and you know, like, I mean, I've been in not the body fitness and body world, but you know, even from a training point of view and a martial arts point of view, and you know, on season, on fight, looks amazing. And
but that's for bodybuilders, all of a sudden, that's very important though.
Bam, the weight comes back on.
But that's the only way you grow, unfortunately. So it was also hard for me to work on my weaker body parts because I'm always in shape, because I'm always in a deficit. Like I couldn't, you know, and now I'm so scared to compete again because I've never really had the time to work on my weaker body parts. Even though it's 4 years, so I do believe my physique is better.
Okay.
But I've never done the off-season thing because I didn't have time.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've met incredible people. All my sponsors today, up to today, are international. I've been with EHP Labs for 4 years now, and they're like family to me. Like,
really,
you know, it's not it's a supplement company, but for me, it's family. Like they look after me. I use their products. You know, we've built up a relationship. You know, I've been in the owner's house. I've slept there. You know, I know he's got 2 beautiful daughters. Like everything is just the synergy just works, and I will never leave them either. Like if ever, because I've resigned, I've stepped out of the fitness industry, but I would love to always be there because my loyalty is towards them, and they also created me so many opportunities in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
you're loyal to those who are loyal to you, eh?
Yes, 100%. I've also started my own clothing range.
I've heard, and I was going to discuss it. Yes, tell me about it.
I was with Sergi Constance, which is probably one of the biggest fitness icons in the world. We started Aesthetics Era, and then I've got silent partners Chris McWilliams and Misha from the Holland. Yeah, Aesthetics Era took off massively. You know, that's one of the reasons why I've traveled a lot as well. Just building a relationship, networking, because I'm the face of the brand. I need to build, you know, people see me wearing the clothes, they want the clothes.
Of course.
We had beautiful, massive stands at all the expos all around the world. I think we sold to about 16 countries all around the world in stores, but mostly online was our.
Okay, so that was your focus, online.
Yeah, online. Yeah.
Why not retail?
You're not hands on. Like you know, I live in South Africa. This is still my. It's hard. Like a lot of the investors and the people from Holland really put in a lot of work. More behind the brand that I could ever possible understand or comprehend, because they've done pretty well where I was the face of the brand, had to build a brand. But now 5 years later, I've stepped out
Okay.
of aesthetics era. It's communication and having business partners from a different part of the world. It was bound to go south.
Long distance relationships,
100%, yeah. And it's a pity because the brand did extremely well, and the brand still exists.
Yeah.
But I just had to make a decision to prioritize my life and what's important for me, and knowing that I've got control, because I know everything that been successful in my life is when I had control over it.
And when you were following your purpose and passion.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the clothing was amazing for me, and it helped me a lot with my career, but I didn't have control. And not saying that they didn't work or they worked extremely hard, but it's just for me, like I had to step away. But so that's basically my story in a nutshell.
Holy shit. And what a story, dude.
Yeah.
If I can, I'd love to ask you, I've been the guy that's been in gym. So I'll give you an example. I weigh 73 kilograms now. And I'm comfortable at that weight, right?
Wow.
From a training point of view, from a mixed martial arts, from a Brazilian jiu-jitsu point of view. But at one point in my life, I was 90 kgs with like 8% body fat. So I've been there. We've done the 4:30 in the morning training.
Yeah.
At one point, our bets would go up to 1,000 rand a day if you missed. So we'd make a deal with our guys, right? We're going to train right through winter, and if you miss one day, but I didn't have 1,000 rand for the month, let alone a day. If you didn't come to gym, you had to bring a doctor's note. That's how we had this, and I did that for about 4 years. We really trained hard.
Yourself,
So I've been in that whole environment, and I understand that environment, and I love that environment, although not nearly to the degree that you've done it, of course. But I understand the training environment very, very well. Take me through the process because there's a hell of a hard thing that happens, and it's the one thing that bothers me about when you're training in an environment where everybody's big. Everybody starts off with the skinny kid or the fat kid or the overweight kid or the, and getting into gym and actually just starting, when you're looking around and everybody's big and the oaks are training and
it's intimidating.
Fuck, it's intimidating, bro. It's highly.
That's why people don't go to the gym.
People don't go to gym. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I think it's also got to do a lot with what you want. I know it's intimidating. Even when I see a bigger guy, it intimidates me. It's a challenge that you gotta set for yourself, and nobody else is gonna break those barriers for you.
Yeah,
it's difficult. You gotta go in there, and you just gotta do it for yourself, and not take note of anything. And that's one of the things that I've also learned very, very early, and made the constant decision that don't worry about what people think. Because if I had to worry about what people think,
you would never have started.
I would have never started, and
you'd be selling properties.
100%. Even especially South Africans are very, very traditional and very conservative, extremely conservative. And I'm saying I wouldn't have said this if I haven't had traveling experience, and I've had a shitload. But and there's probably a reason for it. Like we are conservative because of the country that we've been brought up,
and our culture, hey.
Our culture, like we
massively influenced. Look, I'm half Afrikaans, right? So my dad's Afrikaans, my mom's English. So I come from that background. I get it, and it is a very traditional, very reserved culture, and like it or not, it affects us, dude.
And then when I go overseas and everybody's just on their phone and they're Snapchatting and they're doing their stories, and like, I would love to do that. Everybody wants to do it.
Yeah.
And it was hard for me. It was really hard for me. But I made a decision many years ago that, fuck it, I don't care. I'm going to do it. And as soon as you do it, people are going to they're going to laugh at you.
Yeah.
And then they're going to see you consistent and you're doing it every single day. Then they're going to start
taking you seriously.
Yeah. And then they build respect, and then they want to do it.
Isn't that the process?
Yes.
Hey, like right there, you've just 100%. Hit it on the head.
And
I think too many people are too worried about what. And it's not even people. Can I tell you what it really is? It's the immediate group of friends, what they're going to say.
Yeah.
When, I mean, it's the complete fucking opposite. You know, your immediate group of friends should be the guys going, that's the guys you shouldn't be worried about.
Yeah.
You know, they should be the guys giving you support.
Yeah.
You know, but it is, I'm so worried about what people are going to say.
That's a whole nother topic.
Huntley fucking started a podcast.
Yeah.
Hey? Like, why are you doing this? Because I want to.
Yeah.
But for what? Do you make any money about it? No.
Yeah.
But I get to fucking meet the most incredible people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, and there's a very big difference, Jaco, and I think this is the thing, where there's a lot of guys that talk a lot of game, and there's very few guys that walk a big game. You know, and you walk the game, and look at where you've got to. I think it's incredible.
Thank you.
You know?
It's especially it's a very, very niche industry, and I've learned the hard way, even recently, that my closest friends, that's also very in the same industry. You know, you think they're happy for you, but they're not. And I've listened to a video the other day on YouTube where it talks about fake people and ambivalent people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the most dangerous people in the world is ambivalent people, because it's easy for fake people. Fake people phone you and they say, listen, let's go for dinner. You're like, fuck no.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have dinner with you.
Yeah, because you know who they are.
Yeah. So
exactly.
Where ambivalent people is like, if you constantly think like, shit, am I going to say yes? I'm going to say no. Like, those are the people that's draining. Those are the people that suck blood out of you.
Yeah.
And those are the people you should get out of your life. Like, there shouldn't be you shouldn't even doubt the question.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody phones you.
But you know, people.
And there's one question that I want to say, and like, how do you know that people are your real friends? And there's just one question you need to ask yourself. Have you ever doubted that they were happy for you?
And if the answer
you
is
don't
yes,
even have to answer that question, but just ask yourself.
But that's that feeling that you'll get,
have
right?
you ever doubted that they are happy for you? And that's
like, it, bud.
That's
and if the answer is yes,
then you know what to do.
You know what to do. And if the answer is no, you can be loyal, man. You know, loyalty, you can't buy family, but you know,
and I'm not
that makes you related. Loyalty makes you family.
You know, I know I've got my faults. I know that you know, but there's some psycho people out there.
No, and you know, it's not specific to South Africa, but it's specific to the world.
No, to the world.
You know, that's
like, I've dealt with so many people that just wanted a piece of me.
Yeah.
Be a part of the Jaco de
Bruyn brand. Yeah.
And I would always grab every single opportunity. Like, I'm open for business, and then you come to a stage where you're like, fuck, I can't believe I've just gone through this again. Another year passed, or another 6 months passed, and it's a waste of your time.
I know. Well, let me tell you the funny story. So I'm speaking to Al, and Al says to me, but you got to get Jaco. You know, you guys will just hit it off. He's real, you real. You know, just get hold of him. So I said, okay, sharp. So I got a hold of him, and we were chatting about the podcast, and I knew who you were, meaning I know you're that guy. You know, but I don't know too much about you. But with people like Al, you know, I trust him.
Yeah.
You know, I really trust him. So I did what I didn't usually do, meaning I didn't know too much about you, you know. So nevertheless, I phone you up and we have a chat, and I still gave you shit over the phone. I was like, I'm not going to make you look like cuck and me look like great, you know what I mean? And you like had to laugh at me and all the rest of it. So nevertheless, I go on and I do like what I usually do, and I start adding social media, because when we release, we go social media. Yeah. So I had this and I had that. I was like, wow, you know, a lot of Instagram followers, you know. Ignorant, dude, ignorant. Twitter, a couple of Twitter followers. Wow, I mean, this is, you know, I mean, and Al told me how well known you are, but you don't.
Yeah.
I got to Facebook, but I was like, what the fuck? You got 4.2 million followers on Facebook.
Yeah, so Facebook was my first platform,
and that's why, because
many years ago,
for such a long time,
Yeah.
you've got a fake profile. Right. Yeah. And one of your fake profiles, clearly it's fake, right? Because you've got your profile, which is your personal one, and then you've got Jaco de Bruyn official, which is 4.2 million. You've got a fake profile that's got 8,000 followers. It's more than most people on your fake profile.
All my profiles are now blue ticked.
Yes.
Because
they're all blue ticked. Yeah,
I've mailed, you know, because there's
you can do that now.
There's many fake profiles.
Yeah,
so,
you can do that now.
Because it became difficult for people that want to get involved with me and
absolutely to actually get in contact with
and
you.
Who's the right?
But
what is the right page?
My whole point is, you know, and getting what you're saying, I can appreciate that there's a lot of people who would like, okay, Jaco train, you know what I mean, and let's do that, you know, and I get it, man, I 100% get it, you know, Does it suck that your social media is that big and the podcast will be on? No, it doesn't suck, you know. But that wasn't the point.
Yeah.
You know, last week I had my web developer who developed the Thought Labs website.
Yeah.
I had him on the podcast, and he's an average, everyday guy from a social media point of view. But you know what he is, man? He's interesting and he's special.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. You know, it's
100%.
not about chasing this. I did it because I want to do it.
Yeah.
And next week I've got a water specialist on because I want to discuss water in this country because I think it's important. And he's got no social media following. I don't care.
Just want the knowledge.
That's what it's about. You know, it's about taking something and gearing it to the audience, because ultimately, you know, and when I spoke to Al about your story, then I was like, okay, I want him on because God damn it, that's a story. Eh? And I love it, the fact that you're from the East Rand.
Yeah, no, it's good. You know, and I just want to add as well, you know, I've got massive success in my career, but never done it by myself.
Yeah, always a team.
And I've got so many people that has helped me and opened doors for me and supported me.
Well, never mind that, Jaco. How incredible must your wife be when you say to me, you've been in a different country every month for the last 3 to 4 years?
Yeah, I think...
Dude, that's next level. I mean, because I know my fiance would be like, foot sack, man.
I think, look, there's no doubt that I've
baby.
got the best wife in the world. And I get this question asked so many times because people don't understand. And I get a lot of, not say hate, but, you know, I'll get the bad comment now and again about me always leaving my wife and my kids. But people don't understand that we've been together for so many years. Like, she knows me. I know her.
Yeah.
I could just look at her and she would know there's something wrong with me without even opening my mouth.
Sure.
And she also knows that why I'm doing what I'm doing, because this is my career. I don't go overseas and not get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, I get paid to go overseas. This is my job. And I'm not saying it was easy for her. Like, there was a lot of challenges for us. The first time that I've done Worlds, my first international show, she was 9 months pregnant.
Holy shit.
She gave birth on the Sunday and I left on the Tuesday to go compete at Worlds.
Holy shit.
But so you know,
she's proper keeper, eh?
So there was a lot of challenges for us, and she backed me and supported me 100% because she knew that I was good at what I do.
Yeah.
And she knew that was my passion. Everything worked out perfectly for the babies to come before I had to leave, because that was always the biggest thing for us.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely my backbone. Like, she I think the reason why it works is because we've been together so long and she walked the journey with me. She knows exactly. Yeah. She met me when I was skinny, Jaco. She met me when I grew.
When you were scat, eh? Skinny fat.
But she knows my story. Like, I think, and that's why I said earlier in the podcast, like, if I wasn't married, it would have been a fuck up.
Yeah.
I would have been a slut.
100%, man. Hey, but listen to the podcast Mark and I discussed, you know, about what he got up to when he was younger and all the rest of it. It's just that lifestyle. Yeah. You know, you're a public figure, you know, and your wife acts as that anchor. Yeah. If you know what I mean.
You know, it's always it's the thing that I go to first is look at pictures when I'm overseas, and it humbles me because I know what I've got. And I will never change that for the world.
You know, Jaco, I think it's different if in your prime, when you are 4.2 million on Facebook and this and that and that, and all of a sudden you meet somebody, then there's always that, I believe,
I do meet them.
There's always that, but there's always that nagging question. Let's say you met your wife now.
Yes,
right.
Okay.
There's always that nagging question that, why? You know, it's this old gold digger sort of syndrome that you've got. You know, is she here for me, or is she here for my money or my fame or my status? Whereas with you a scat, dude.
Yeah. Look, I'm getting, like, obviously getting a lot of messages on social media from women, men, whatnot, and you know, like, I got to deal with it in a professional way always. Of course. You know, if it's sexual or offensive, I've just made a promise to me I never reply. Like, I'll open the message, but if I don't need to reply, I just leave it. Like, I've made that promise to her and to me many years ago that she doesn't have to worry about it.
Sure.
And even any given time, she can go on my phone, do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
She's always gonna, she's gonna see dick pics or fucking tits or whatever.
Dude,
Because I
do you
get
get dick pics? No, man.
I've got a whole fucking album.
I've got a whole album of dick pics. Dude,
But yeah,
you're the
that's
first guy
life,
that I've
bro.
ever spoken to in my life who's like, just like, bro, I get dick pics. Do you know what I mean? Because usually it's chicks who saying they get dick pics.
Yeah, look.
Oh my God, that actually just made my whole podcast.
Yeah, look, like it's crazy world out there. Like
Yeah,
social media.
It is. And at the end of the day, you're a public figure.
Oh.
You know, that's what it comes down to. Anybody can go on and say what they want about you because you're a public figure, just like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, eh? And
If
you have to deal with
If
it.
you're going to let it emotionally get to you, you won't survive.
No.
Never. Like, you just gotta deal with it.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. That's what I wanted to touch base on, you know. It's been very especially the last 2 years, like emotionally, like getting to me. Like it's hard not to not be happy. Do you understand? You always have to be this person and this prevail this happy picture, but it's draining. It's draining. So
Don't you think though that there is a and I'm coming back to just to the realism and the authenticity that I think the world needs now. You know, I'd love to see a message from Jaco de Bruyn that reads as follows. Right, I trained my balls off this morning because I'm having a really bad day and life is sucking today. And after this, I'm gonna go eat some fucking ice cream. Do you know what I mean? Don't you think that you're allowed to do that?
I am, and I could, and they will probably love it. But I think I don't know. Like I've built my set ways in handling my social media, that it's probably time to change it up a bit. You know, to make it, like, not saying that it's not real, but just to be more
Authentic.
Yeah, I'm just more chill. Like, I'm very,
because I tell you
I'm
what,
so hard on myself. Like, it's,
well, this is the thing. I tell you what, I think, and God damn it, I mean, I'm not the PR specialist, but I think your audience would respond to that to the nth degree, because you know what? It's real. Do you know what I mean? And today I'm having a fucking bad day, and that's life. And here's me eating ice cream. But tomorrow I'm making up for that goddamn ice cream because I've got Worlds coming up. You know, and I've got to punish myself. And I mean, because ultimately this is what we go through. You know, when we're training hard, you know, and then you fuck it up one night on a Friday night and you have a few mini tequilas and all your training goes down the drain, and then you got to catch up next week. And you know, I get it. Yeah,
it's hard.
It's hard, man.
It's only because I've been like so hard on myself with being the best that I possibly think I should be.
Yeah.
Without thinking of that I'm normal as well.
Yeah. You're a human, dude. Yeah.
So
and I don't think, and I mean, I may be wrong, Jaco, you know, but I don't think it's sustainable for another couple of years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%.
You know, I love that idea.
Yeah.
You know, I love that idea. Like, I went to the gym today, and the last 7 days I've been smashing it, but today I really sucked.
Yeah.
You know, like today was just a bad day.
There's many of those.
Yeah, because that happens. Yeah. One bad night's sleep, right? Because at the level that you're playing at, and understand that, so I've never played in that level, but I've competed for big competitions, and I've got a lot of guys that I've prepped for EFC and, you know, all the rest of it. And those are really, really good athletes, man, Jaco. Like, incredible athletes. I got Cedric Doyle, who's fighting now. I got another one of my fighters fighting now, EFC now. Man, it's everything, and this is what people don't understand. You know, it's your training, it's your eating, it's your sleep, it's your emotional state. Your emotional state can affect your training sessions.
It's the most important thing. It's
Yeah.
your mental state.
Yeah, done and dusted, man. Come on, do it. Do the ice cream one.
I will probably finish too then.
And at the bottom, you can go, thanks, Hans. Yeah, I win. Because I'm all for it. You know, I tell you why I'm so interested in this topic. And I mean, I know I've discussed this on the podcast before, but I haven't discussed it with you. When I started this podcast, I was trying to build a brand, for lack of a better way of putting it, you know. And the brand Thought Lab is me. You know, and even the name took me forever to get, you know, because it's so inextricably linked to me, if you understand what I mean. So I didn't think it could be the Huntley Smith show, because like, nobody knew me, you know. So I wanted to come up with a cool brand. But in doing all of this, I needed to build my own business model, right? And the business model needed to make a few promises to me first, and then the business model needed to make a few promises to the audience. And even if the audience don't know this, it doesn't matter. And this is what you did to yourself, right? So for argument's sake, before the podcast, we discussed one shot, one go, that's it. There's no editing. You know what I mean? If you get up and go to the toilet, then that's what you do. Yeah. And I always wanted to be that authentic. If I drop something now, well, so be it. And if you're, like I said, if your phone ring and you had to answer it, I'd also be okay with that, you know? Yeah. And things like that. And okay, now who's my target audience? Well, my target audience needs to be people who can add value to my guests, influencers and interesting people, because I had to have both. You know, so of course I want influencers here because people listen to influencers. But I also wanted my web dev, you know, so we can sit there and nerd our faces off. And through this whole process, and then the biggest thing was, right, who am I? Yeah, and what do I give when I'm sitting here? Like who is it? You know, and probably the biggest compliments I've got over and over and over again from a lot of my close friends and students. I mean, we've got run big jiu-jitsu schools all over. Is the guy in class is the guy on the podcast, and the guy when I'm training my staff is the guy on the podcast. It doesn't change. You know, and because what I've also seen guys do, you know, big YouTube stars, is put on this massive facade, right? And I'm not for 1 second saying that's what you're doing. What you're doing is you showing excellence. You know what I mean? That's what you're portraying. You're portraying excellence. The fact that you've always been in shape testifies to that excellence that you want to show. But I've seen guys put on this facade, and then all of a sudden they can't keep the facade, and guess what happens, right? Cracks start showing, and all of a sudden everybody turns around and goes, fake. You know what I mean?
And I've met a lot of YouTubers, and the YouTubers make a lot of money with big companies international. Yeah. And they, you know, I always look at them on YouTube and like, wow, I just wish I could talk like that. Like, it's a given talent. Like, some people can do it and some people can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I meet them at functions and expos, and the last person talking, they don't talk whatsoever. Like, I'm like,
no, my buddy, you and me, we'd be at the bar drinking tequila. That's what happens. So
that's, you know, that baffles me as well. Like, you can talk on a camera and you're pretty good. Like, I take my hat off for those guys, for YouTubers. Yeah. But they can't really be in a conversation when it's the real deal.
No, when it's real life.
Yeah, that's weird for me.
No,
not all of them, a few of them, but
a few.
The few that I'm talking about are like got massive following.
And that was just such a worry of mine, you know, that I say something or be, you know. So I mean, a very trusted friend of mine, when I first started the podcast, you know, I swore, and he was like, Hans, you know, I don't know if this is the right thing for you. You know, I don't know if you should swear. You know, you clean cuts and you this and you that and all the rest of it. And I was like, which I kind of am, right? Kind of, right? But I'm also a jiu-jitsu guy, and my back's full of tattoos. By the way, we got the same tattoo artist, eh? Yeah. Fallen Years, Tace.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. I've got Tace's ink on the back and all the rest of it. But you know what I do, eh? I swear, because I'm human. And imagine if my brand is this, you know, clean cut, never swear, and then I get fucking excited and I say the word fuck, and then it's not real, man.
I'm the same.
It's not real. You can't keep it up forever. Yeah, and that's why I love this authenticity drive. You know, I think people should see you on your highs, and I think every now and again it should be like, hey, bro, I got a busted up lip and I can barely talk, and I'm sore right now. You know, talking, I'm sore, but hey, that's life.
No, 100%.
Yeah,
no,
that's
I agree
real.
with you, 100%.
Yeah. You were recently at Tace. So when did you get your one done?
I've done my sleeve now with Tace over about 6 months period. Okay. But I'm only doing half sleeve because I still want to compete, obviously.
All right.
So, but yeah, I'm very happy. His work is it's amazing. Like, I wouldn't want to do it anywhere else. Now when I see stuff on Facebook, somebody done a tattoo, I'm like, you know, like, do I like this?
I'm with you, dude. I'm with you.
It's something that's permanent.
It's permanent. It's there forever.
It needs to tell a story.
Let me tell you what happened with Tace. So you have to understand that I'm a little bit OCD, right? Okay. And I'm the guy that will straighten every single frame in your house. Yeah. Okay, because it mustn't. It's got to be. Yeah. And I'm the guy that needs everything centered. So the first tattoo I got on the top of my back, right, I made the guy take a ruler, right, because it had to be in the center, and go from the side to side and ruler it out so it would be center. Okay. And my first tattoo, I must have been back, I don't know, I must have driven this oak fucking absolutely insane, right? Sure. And back and forth and this, and let me see it. Okay, now it's perfect. Go, you know. And then the next one, same thing, and the next one, same thing. So I'm sitting with Tace, and I say to Tace, I want my bottom tattoo, which is a dragon, and he says to me, "Okay, Hans, I've sort of got the outlines of it." He said, "Do you want to see it?" And I said, "No." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Go, freehand it." And he started freehanding this thing, right? No stencil. I've never seen it before. I don't know what it's going to turn into. My OCD is fucking losing its mind, okay? And while we were busy, he was actually like, "Okay, how do you want the face to be? How do you want it to go?" Like we were talking about it.
But his work is so good that you could trust him.
That's why. That's exactly why. I would never have been able to overcome that with anybody else, man. I knew Tace. I trusted him. It's too fucking risky, right? But he's a genius, man. He's absolutely incredible. Yeah. One of the not founding members, sorry, one of the guys who's helped me in the initial stages of the podcast is a guy by the name of Mark Herbert. And Mark's also got a tattoo studio. And Mark, I'm sorry, I can't think of the tattoo studio off the top of my head right now. This happens in podcasts. But Mark actually put me in touch with Tace.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's been all over the show.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, I actually want to get him on the podcast. We're in talks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have to.
Tace, if you're listening.
he's got a good story to tell.
Yeah, he's got an incredible story to tell. And then they've got Fallen Heroes in America.
California.
Yeah, with a good friend of mine, Mr. Brown. Yeah.
I said so,
Yeah. Yeah, what a story, eh?
Yeah. He's one talented guy. That's
very
for sure.
talented. But, all these guys, and I think the overriding story is all these guys and all these people that we get in contact with, it's this idea of having a passion and having a dream and then doing it. So many people talk, dude.
You will never realize whether or not you'll be able to do it until it's done. Like if I look back now, I would have never in my wildest dreams be thinking that this is what I was going to do.
This is your life
for a living.
You'd be selling properties.
Yeah, it's surreal. It's
surreal.
Crazy. And that's why I always tell, especially young and upcoming athletes in the industry that because I know when I see talent, I know, especially with the younger generation, and there's some pretty good guys out there, like they're 9 and 20 years old, and I'm like, what the hell? And when I tell them, listen, I only started training when I was 24, so seriously, I only competed when I was 27, so there's a lot of time. But the best, just teaching them that you could do it. You just have to put your mind to it, and most important thing is just stay humble.
I love it.
There's some crazy athletes out there with phenomenal physique, but they just lose it after winning their first show. That's it. That's it. Yeah. And then they want the world to fall on their laps.
And I think the problem there is, you talk about goal setting. If you've got the short-term goal and that's your goal, your ultimate goal, well, then when you've reached it, then it's done. Now the whole world must fucking adorn me with adoration, and whereas if that's a step towards a greater goal, like a North Star goal, something bigger than that, then
there's always something bigger.
There is always something bigger.
As long as you don't think that you become bigger than the sport.
Yeah.
That's the thing that they need to understand, because a lot of them think they become bigger than the sport, and then it's tickets.
Yeah.
Like this is a small niche industry. Like you will not get far in this industry if you ever have that mindset.
And you got to be a nice guy, hey?
You got to be a nice guy.
Yeah, network correctly. Yeah, it's so important, man.
Very important.
I was speaking to guys this morning. I'm like, guys, you got to start building your network now. It matters.
It's getting harder now for social media as well. Like
social media is so much harder.
People to get followers now, if you I don't know, it's not easy anymore.
No?
Like they've changed a lot. Now they've realized that they can make money out of. And if people ask me, do I need to invest in social media and money? Yes. You gotta pay. If you want your business to grow, you gotta pay. My business is my name, so I pay. You gotta put money into it.
Yeah, 100%. Of course, you've got to do that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I depending on the podcast, the podcast guest, every now and again I put money into that, definitely, and it's to get it out there.
Yes. Like any business works.
Otherwise, how? Where are they going to hear from me? You know what I mean?
Digital marketing.
Yeah, digital marketing for sure, man. But it's definitely changed the way.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's even hard for me just to keep my engagement up but
like you were saying before the podcast, man, for you being a public figure, social media is a full-time job.
And if I say full-time job, I'm meaning doing photo shoots, creating content, like content is king.
Content is king.
Content is king. You can't have social media. You don't have content.
Yeah, 100%.
And you know, I tell this to a lot of my people that I travel. If I do seminars overseas, for them to understand that if you prep for a show, there's so many guys. I don't understand why some people compete. To be quite honest, because they put a hoodie on and they hide the way they look, and then they compete, and then they win, and they put their hoodie on and they've got no content, but they want sponsorships.
Yeah.
What's the first thing that a sponsor does?
Followers.
He goes to your Facebook,
Damn straight.
to your social media, and check who you are.
Damn
how
straight.
you post.
Yeah. What are you saying?
What are you saying?
Yeah.
Like that.
Listen, employers do that now.
Yes,
don't think your employers don't fucking stalk the fuck out of you on Facebook,
Yeah.
dude. They'll do that.
Every single business now, even in corporate, got people working for them just on social media.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Damn straight.
And now you want to come hide in a hoodie, but you want to win. It doesn't make sense.
So listen, you are currently preparing for Worlds.
Yes.
Right. When is it? What's happening? What's next?
I've got about 11 weeks till World Championships.
Okay.
I'm doing WBFF Worlds again in Vegas, so this would be my pro debut after 4 years. So no pressure.
No pressure whatsoever.
But yeah, also by saying that, you know, for me, my reasons for competing now is completely different from competing 4 years ago.
I got you.
Like, win or lose now, it doesn't matter for me. Like, I don't care. Obviously, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to do well. Yeah. So my aim is right.
Yeah. The competitive nature is there.
The competitive nature is there. But now it's just purely to see whether or not I could still do it.
Really? So it's almost like a little your own challenge. Okay, let's see.
Like, I still got it in me.
Yeah.
And, you know, since I've been promoting it or announcing it on my social media, the engagement went through the roof. Like, people, I think people wanted this now for me for a long time, because at the end of the day, this is where the people initially started to follow me. That's when I was competitive.
Absolutely.
So I've got a good coach, Jaco never been coached. Yeah. Like, it was hard for me to listen to somebody else telling me what to do.
Really, eh?
But
and when did you get him on board?
I've been with him 6 months now.
Okay.
So it's really...
So you're taking it fucking seriously.
I'm taking it seriously, yeah. Like, he also understood 6 months ago that, you know, I'm traveling a shitload. Like, it's helped me now, and I'll start easing my way into his methods. But it's not easy for me to follow advice from other people, knowing that I've done it by myself for so many years. But I also know for a fact in my heart that I haven't reached my full potential.
Got you. So you need that.
So that's why Jaco has prepped and coached phenomenal athletes.
Really, eh?
And you know, I could have chosen anybody in the world, but I wanted somebody that's local, somebody I could trust, and somebody that inspires me. Like, he's done so well in the industry in bodybuilding, and his athletes got a track record of phenomenal physiques. So it was an easy decision for me to make to go with Jaco. So I think he also had a massive challenge with me, because I'm stubborn.
Because you're difficult, yeah. Or because you haven't had a coach.
Yeah. So I'm following everything to the T, especially now. Wasn't always easy in the other 6 months because of my traveling. You know, couldn't always eat his diet. But now I'm not traveling until Worlds. Fully focused, prepping my food every single day, training very hard. I also come from 2 bicep tears in the last year.
Jeez.
So I tore my left bicep.
Really?
My right bicep last year, and I tore this one this year. So I've got a bit of adversity that I overcome in the last year. So
bloody hell.
I wanted to do my first pro debut now in April in Los Angeles, but then I tore my bicep. So it was a little bit of a spring and span in the wheel.
Yeah.
But everything happens for a reason. I didn't really want to go into Worlds immediately, because I wanted to...
Yeah, you wanted to have a little...
It's a small show and then do Worlds. But unfortunately, they don't want me to do that. Okay. Or the universe doesn't want me to do that.
Clearly.
And so I'm doing Worlds. Everybody know that I'm doing Worlds. And so yeah, I've got a lot of pressure on me. I hope, God forbid, that I don't get another injury.
Yeah.
My arm is not 100%, so I've about 70% of my strength back, but it's still very sensitive. So I'm very cautious of the weight. Like, I can't really push myself. And I don't want to. Like, it's I don't want to hurt myself again.
No, even more. It's not worth it.
Like the people will be like, I've built up this massive hype now, so I want to just make sure that I do it right. And
absolutely.
But yeah, that's on the 24th of August.
Sheesh, bud.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And I've got my own fitness show now as well.
Oh, you were mentioning to me before the podcast.
Which is the week before Worlds.
So no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. So my show's going to be big. You know, like last year was the first year that I've done it. Obviously, the foundation was laid down last year, and this year it's going to be huge.
Okay, and what is it?
It's called Fitness Runway Model. So I obviously sold the rights for WWFF, so I don't own WWFF anymore. Okay. I didn't finish off that story.
No, we butterflied, and that's okay.
So yeah, stepped away from WWFF, pure reasons, business reasons. You know, it costs a lot of money, and I just woke up one day in Dubai, and I was telling myself, why am I doing this? Like, I know how to put up a show. I've done it for 4 years. Why don't I do my own show? Mm-hmm. Now every year you pay this amount of money for another federation, which I love, don't get me wrong, but it's just purely a business decision, and that's why I started my own show. And you know, last year I didn't have a lot of time to put a lot of effort into it, but it was very successful. And now this year I had a hell here to plan it and put a lot of my heart and soul into it, and it's going to be huge.
Brilliant.
So I've already got, you know, close to 50 entries, and we're 3 months out. So,
jeez, like it.
So yeah, I hope I can stand in front of that stage and cry again and just see what I've built.
And this is yours now.
This is mine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that's on the 18th of August at Clearwater Mall.
Nice, well, suffice to say, I mean, you know, what you've done for the sport in this country is incredible.
And that's always been my, like, I wanted to build the sport. Like, and the only reason why I ever made that decision was because I was so passionate about it, being an athlete, but I was more passionate about it after winning all these shows in South Africa and walking away with a haircut. Like, I was like, why are people competing?
Yeah.
And that's why
walking over the haircut.
It's no joke.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you, bud. I'm with you.
So that was my aim from day one, is to add value to the sport, and I believe in my heart that I did. I think there's a lot of close friends and people in my life that forgot what I've done for the people in the industry. But yeah, at the end of the day, you know, I know what I do and why I'm doing it. So I hope that I could add a lot more value to the fitness industry in South Africa. I
mean, the best is yet to come, I'm sure.
So, yes.
All right, dude. Well, listen, good luck for the Worlds.
Thank you.
Good luck for your show. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, buddy.
It was a pleasure.
Much appreciated.
You too.
Catch you later. Ciao.
Cheers.
To all the guests, so long and thanks for all the fish. Ciao, guys. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that podcast as much as I did. It was such a pleasure and so inspirational to hear Jaco's story and to hear, you know, how you go from a regular skinny fat, or as we said, scat, you know, young kid to just becoming this icon in the fitness and health industry, you know, in the country. As always, this episode of the show is brought to you by Jared Smith, who's my main equipment sponsor and the Thought Lab sound engineer. And he's just released his brand new music video to the song I'm Out There off his new album Charcoal Sketching, and completely blown away with the song, guys. Go check it out. It's available on YouTube and also available on Facebook. And as always, the show is also brought to you by Teletrack, and thanks to them for offering up the studio space for this week's podcast and for always looking out for me. You can check them out at www.teletrack.com. That's TELLYTRACK.com. And until next week, have a great day. Cheers. Ciao.